Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the monthly New Moon Oracle Circle. I'm really excited to connect because it feels like I haven't spoken to kind of a collective circle in a long time. I've been full with my private circles and sessions since October, it seems like. So I am grateful to be in connection tonight. And please let me know where you're tuning in from, as well if there are any pressing questions or patterns that have been coming up in leading up to this new moon that I believe starts like kind of this evening. So it's kind of in between, like technically it's the 11th. Oh no, technically it's 11th, but it may happen kind of like late tonight, early morning, depending on your time zone. Okay. Lots to discuss, but I thought I would start also with the understanding of resonance. And so you're welcome to share as well in the chat group if you have anything you wish to share about resonance. But I have spoken of it a lot. And as anything that kind of we connect to a lot over time, things get clearer. And kind of it feels like missing links or missing puzzles kind of assist with it. And there was a point within probably this moon cycle that I was actually almost adverse to utilizing that word, to utilizing kind of going, if you resonate with this, right? If you resonate to me, if you resonate to what I'm sharing, then da 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 da. Have any of you heard that before? So I wanted to first address this because resonance has kind of become a term to describe what used to be a term almost a decade ago as like-hearted or like-minded people, right? So that like you would connect, and if something felt similar connection in your mind, in your heart, something kind of pinged with that information, you would then step into deeper connection with either this person or community or circle, la, 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 la. And of course, then maybe some of you who did that work, but I know I'm aging myself, but some of you did that work for at least over a decade or more, right? Of connecting to these people that you're like, I'm, opening to this resonance and I'm opening to these ripples of connection. And of course, sometimes what was resonating was actually both of what you were working on, right? Of both of what you were moving through, be it healing, be it in dissonance, be it in what was non-harmonious in your being on your quest for truth and your alignment of self. So with that, it is not that resonance is wrong. And it is not that I am asking you to discern more and more and more. That seems to also be an additional word, discernment, right? Discernment coming from a place of intuition, which was very much the message of last year, of tapping more so into your natural rhythm, be it with the moon cycles, be it with your own personal body cycles, be it within the rhythm of nature, to assist you in discovering an incredible reverberation that you are part of, a tone that is much grander and greater than what we could define or articulate as resonance. And so instead, Greetings, Raquel. I'll check your message in a sec. Instead, I ask of you, what allows your heart to sing? What allows your heart to feel expansion, to feel, even if you're new to sensing the heart, because I know many of us have guarded or built up incredible barricades over time. So it might be even like the dullest throb, which may actually come up as heartache. So I ask you, in choosing to listen, even to me tonight, in choosing to sit and share space, in choosing to potentially listen and receive messages that may come, to first take a moment to connect to your heart. And as you breathe in towards that heart center, to allow your center to be your compass. Navigating what is below you, what we may call ground, and navigating what feels to be above you, what we may call sky. Discovering what is present within this now. What may be with you that you define as memory or things past. And what may be within you that is not yet defined. We may call this imagination, or things that may be in the future, yet to come. And as you feel all these cycles that are within each breath, each moment, allow your heart to open your ears. And if anything in the sound of my voice brings up discontent or dissonance, you are welcome to step away, for it may not be the time. It does not mean that it is not truth. It does not mean you are not true. Honor always what is right for you now. And in this now, in this presence that encompasses all, you're welcome to sit and listen or to choose to participate. Whatever feels right, whatever feels most easeful. My dog Paco says hello. He's choosing to step in. Welcome. So to conclude with a little emphasis of that idea of resonance, I've been thinking about it a lot because, of course, we are in a new cycle. We are in new moon, new cycle, new everything. And many of us who are seers, and I know many of you who are even listening to this are, many of you who may be channels or receiving more from the multiplicity that is your being, that is you in multiple dimension, or access to what may be ancestor, ancient one, or star person. Someone who may be sensing or sharing information that may feel so far in time from what is now that there is then the query of, is the message for now? And what I mean by that is, well, okay, look at Instagram or even look at this guidance today. I am, of course, speaking to you from a place that, one, I know this is a collective message, so I'm not tapping into one energy. I'm tapping into Akasha, I'm tapping into space, and I'm tapping into earth. So I'm tapping into a much broader energy to share what may come, which of course, though, is resonant and rippling through the energy of the people that are watching it and the people that are participating in this message, right? You are sharing the juice. And then, of course, think of the people that will potentially tap into this message in another time. It could be tomorrow, it could be the day after, right? That they are also contributing to what is occurring now. And so what that means then is when you see certain guidance or messages, of course, it is always coming from the now. And when we think of that, we think then, right? We're like present, now, moment. It must then be relevant for me right now. And of course, though, all that I've been getting on time to share, stepping into this new moon, stepping into this cycle, is that time is relative. And what does that mean? Well, you've probably heard me say for quite a while, and this is not me saying this information. It's kind of been spoken a lot from Indigenous elders, from many different cultures and traditions of teachings, that time is not linear, time is cyclical. And the most beautiful thing, though, when we think of cycles of time, because they've been itemized linearly, on a calendar, on our smartphone, right? We see kind of our schedule for the day or the schedule for the week, and it's still within a line that we start to somewhat forget what the cycle of time means. And of course, if we thought of and looked at this wonderful circle, right? And a cycle is just moving and moving and moving and moving. That is, movement is key. Movement is definite going to be the constant, right? Some people say change is the constant. Yes, it's that ability to move. We are in a moving universe. We are in something that spins. They even share this in quantum physics now. They speak of it as a vacuum or like a drain from your tub. So in this movement, where is present? When we speak of present. And in this movement, where is what we call past and where is what we call future? I'm asking you. Thoughts? So if time is a cycle, right? We understand cycles when it comes to healing, breathing, life, death, rebirth. We understand how these cycles move in towards each other. But the cycle of time is a really interesting one. It starts to kind of really warp with your mind because we are so comfortable in defining what is past and as well as what is future, right? And then, of course, there's the term that we all know of be in the now, be you here now. And in the work of now, in the work of present, of course, we see that it can all encompass both past and present. Present is the center, Raquel. Yes, yes. So in this, then you think of people sharing guidance, right? Sharing oracle, sharing sight, sharing inner vision, sharing inner connection. And they are sharing from that place of presence, which means that they may be accessing information that could assist in past, as well as can assist in future or can assist now. And so when I share that time is relative, some of you may come across for this information that you were guided to listen to today, right? And go, oh my goodness, it is exactly for what I need right now, February 10th, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? It will resonate for now. Some of you, it may resonate 2 months later. Some of you, it may have actually resonated 2 months ago, 3 months ago, right? And so that's when like you hear a message and you go, oh yeah, I know that. And I know that's because you actually process that at another point in time, right? And then, so the most beautiful thing when I started to see this, because I was really kind of flummoxed. I'm like, okay, we're in a new cycle that is, we've all been using the term sovereign, right? Sovereign of self, self-mastery, being able to really know that you have the power to choose. You have the, no one has access to your power. No one has access to your energy unless you say go. And so in this kind of reclaiming of power of self, then why would then someone need a message from someone else? Why would then, and this is me getting all flummoxed because I'm going like, I love doing guidance. I connect so much to spirit and I know I receive energy and messages for me during the process. But why would it be still pertinent to listen to another, right? Without feeling that their information that they share is trying to supplicate or place you in an either state of being of going, I did not know that, so I must be, or this is such great information, Josie must be, like we start to then, with the sharing of information, the sharing of wisdom, the sharing of connection, the sharing of spirit or guidance that may be from many different places in time, as well as presence. heart connection, that in even the listening of it, I ask of you to know that the messages that may come, that you may listen to, that you may like on Instagram, all of this stuff that are coming from some of the people that you really resonate with and you really connect to, are coming from where they are now. Right? And that's the most beautiful thing. So within the messages, there is a vulnerable sharing of self. There is an intimacy, because you get to sense a little of course, what that person is experiencing now. Of course, then language has shifted. So instead of going like, I'm feeling this and this is what I'm receiving about it, it may come across as collective, or all may be feeling this. This is what you need to do about it. Different term, isn't it? Interesting. But it's meaning the same thing. The messages receiving are coming from self, are coming from access to all, access to much through time, but are being filtered obviously through individual experience. And so when you allow that to know that, right? To know that you can listen without it being a battleground of someone saying that they're better than you because they know this information, or that you are less than because you don't know, or of course the fight of going, I'm better than because I already knew this information, or that there's just utter confusion. Sometimes that happens too in the battle. When that can kind of dissipate, then we can allow even the simplest messages that we happen to flow upon as we move through time and space, within accessing more and more of self. We can allow what we flow to, what feels natural and easeful to open to listen to sense. Our senses are so beautiful that way, right? Just think of a flower. The things, when they sense things, there's such a delicacy of it. There's a gentleness to it. We don't sense things. For sure, plants don't either. Sometimes we tried really, really hard, but as many of you know who are seers, of course, trying really, really hard doesn't really allow the sensory experience or the messages to come. They come in ease. And so you may be flowing and just tapping into someone at a point or a state of ease. And you may also be in an easeful point. It's not saying there has to be that you are forceful and one is ease. But I digress. The main thing then to see within messages, and I saw this very clearly today, was the simplest messages that may seem like they are for present may actually be for like a different time. And how do you know? Well, the knowing then comes in what feels easeful in body. And I'll give you an example. It's a really simple example, I know, but I think simplicity in examples is kind of nice too. So in a beautiful ceremony that I did with my mentor back in October, it was like holy Hathors. It was just like, flying to the moon and back, to what was called far future, or it could have been far past, to beginnings, to endings. It was that wild type of raucous, energetic experience. And then at the end of that, to ground me, we connected to Raven, who is one of my messengers. And Raven shared with me the simplest message. And it was like, eat fruit and seeds, or eat fruit and seeds, start with that, and then see where it goes. And so, of course, when you get a simple or clear message like that, be it from a bird, be it from a guide, be it from any type of spirit, or be it from a person, you think, oh, well, that's a very practical thing. I could apply that right now. And so the days that came, though, I was definitely not in the mood, or my body definitely was not asking for fruit and seeds. And it was really interesting to see that, because you'd think that that was like the first thing, the easy thing. It was very clear. It was very direct. And the time that followed after that ceremony, our body, our spirit, all the different parts of us start to acclimate from the many messages received, from the many things explored. And in that acclimation process, I realized today that was a message, that the acclimation process was complete, that I understood the messages in their entirety to the end. Because today I got the message, feed the birds. And literally, bird seed was all over the place. Wherever I would walk, it was in big signs, on sides of vans. It was hilarious. And so it was such a very, very clear thing that brought me back to that simple message of going, fruit and seeds. And I was like, okay, does my body feel ready for that? Yep. So when you get guidance, get it recorded, because then you can honor the nudges of when more of the message or more that is coming through for you along your journey, along the time that is relative to you, right? Then you can step and listen to it. And it's not that it's old, because of course, all messages come in the present. They come from that center place. And depending on where you are in relativity to the time that where I am, right? Then certain messages may be actually sitting and waiting for you at past guidance circles. And I was very much guided to bring this all up. I know I haven't even pulled a card yet, but as you see, it's been quite a bit of a channeling day. A lot of stuff has been just coming through, even without the need for pictures. So what I would just give a little gentle nudge is, if you have any recordings, any guidance recorded from, okay. Oh, it says my connection's unstable. Let me know if the message was messed up. But if you get guided to step and listen to a specific one, trust that. You can even go along the actual, I think I have a playlist on my YouTube of all the different oracles that I have recorded and offered live here. And if you get the nudge to connect to a specific one, even if it says like July, and you're like, I'm not in July, trust it. Time is relative. There are many messages that may come from past shares, as well as, of course, what may come in future shares that will be relevant for the now that is you as you travel through. How beautiful is that? So that's why we require guidance. That's why this is such a beautiful interaction, because that if we're all moving through this beautiful past, present, future time cycle, right? At all maybe different rates that honor the easeful movement that is us, so that we can feel more connected to our center, then how it feels almost like it's just like we take a moment every once in a while and see the fellow traveler through time, and share something that we are nudged to share from heart. And that fellow traveler receives, trusting that something in the message was to maybe even connect the dots from other conversations, to allow a fuller present experience, to heal, to further heal something from the past, or to prepare them for something that is yet to come. Let me know if this has prompted any questions. Checking out greetings from Pennsylvania. Oh my goodness, it's Pennsylvania. Okay, this is, I know, don't laugh at me too much. Is it PA, the short form? Because I've been waiting with like bated breath. I check my Etsy every single day for this new Oracle card set that I was recommended to from Mama Hawk Visions, another fabulous seer on YouTube. Please check her out. Called the Plant Spirit Oracle, which is coming from Pennsylvania. So that just went doo, doo, doo. The patterns of this new moon feel very much like starting a new DNA tree or branch. Yes, letting go of familial DNA patterns that are harmful so we can find tribe. Thank you very much for sharing that wisdom, Raquel. They're absolutely, it's neat because this technically would be the second new moon of the new year, 2021. But I found that it didn't feel like the new year. And some of you who oh, Pietas, yay. Some of you may have found, if you watch my Insta, on January 21st, January 20th was very much an energetic day of like 0 point. It was just pure stillness. It was quite incredible. Like, and what I mean by stillness is I'm a feeler, hence the movement key name, right? Like I might be sitting, but of course I am feeling vibration from earth, from spirit, from different dimensions, from you, all at the same time. And I've learned over time to be able to translate a bit better what I'm receiving at that kind of like time. So with that, a still point is like for an empath walking into a room of people and not feeling all their sensations being shared with them. A still point in energy is just like, it just takes, it's a pause. It's that beautiful pause. And so I really enjoyed that pause. And then the 21st, that's when I really felt the surge of the new, which was interesting because it was after the technical first new moon in January. And also between new and a full moon, right? It wasn't even like syncing up with that cycle. And so that's when I was prompted to do a ceremony to kind of, give gratitude for 2020. What came through from it that I could be grateful for. There was a lot of awakenings and awarenesses for sure, even as challenging and as intense it was. And then to kind of turn and bring in and usher in the new cycle that is 2021. And so after that, how telling and how beautiful that the feminine cycle of the moon, ushers in after that new energy, a full moon that was so ripe, so beautiful, wolf energy within indigenous teachings. It ushered forward massive blessings and massive connection to clan. And this is why I share this, Raquel, because yes, this this feeling that sometimes even we get caught up or tied up in family DNA patterns, in patterns that we feel are that there's no possibility of extricating self from it. There's actually a point beyond it. So let's say if like you're here, an ancestor, what you term to be ancestor may be here. Beyond it, we may speak of ancient ones, or it could be also like star beings. It could be something that you're accessing in future. There was this beautiful thing that I came across of how I was saying that we are ancestors to the star people. Because of course, the stars we see in the sky, for us to even see that light from the speed of light and how things travel and how far things are in space, that's like coming to our sight after like being there for like 100,000 years or something. It was one of those wild numbers. So of course, what we're seeing in the stars is the past, which is why the messages that we may receive from the stars and the cosmos may be really assisting us to prepare for what's to come, because of course they've experienced it so long ago. They're speaking and whispering to us as their ancestors. So when most definitely, Raquel, when you share this of finding tribe, and I just don't use the word tribe just because from Indigenous background, I know that some Indigenous tribes may take offense because there's such fight and strife around them claiming those. But what I really started to resonate with is the term clan. And clan is a gathering of people, and most definitely that feel that type of familial connection. And so this full moon, after that ushering of the new, I connected to original clan. And the beauty of it was, it made sense to why I would be stumbling so much within my DNA or my bloodline story, because it made sense to also even the family that I was adopted in and their lineage, like why I actually had to understand that part, or why from being so mixed, I had so many different types of ancestors and types of backgrounds, that confused me for so long. And in original clan, the clan that I connected to, they were of different backgrounds. They weren't all of blood. They connected they knew that they were meant to share some immense type of soul healing work together, but they were actually of different tribes. And it blew my mind, most definitely. I'm still moving through that. And but the whirlwind of time and cycles that has come since full moon to bring us into this new moon has very much been almost preparing us, going, this is like new. This new moon, if you think you're moving into be at a new era, a new time, a new cycle, a new whatever, anything that has the new, this is the new. This is the new. And of course, that requires a deep laying to rest of things that no longer need to be carried. Things that no longer need to be trudged with you on this new cycle. And so if some of those things are inconsistencies, difficulties in digesting all that has come up about ancestral healing, ancestral clearing, spirituality in general, where the state of the world is, all of these types of things, if they don't feel, oh my gosh, I'm going to laugh at myself. I'm going back to that original word. If they don't feel resonant, if they don't feel true, if they don't feel in alignment with your compass, with how you are navigating your movement through time and space, then it is time to give ceremony, to share with the earth, to share with the stars, to share with the ecosystem we are a part of, to let it go, to lay it to rest. And so the sensation of starting a new tree is so beautiful. As soon as you shared that, I just saw it. I saw it growing. That new tree coming from this seed that is presence, that is you, that is true you, that is heart, that is your center. A very strong message today as well of returning to center. And so I understand, it's as if return to that seed, return to what is, and allow now in this new what needs to grow, flow from it. And trust that your clan, the one that is most ancient or the one that is most in the future, will step into your life, will flow in connection with you. Some of you who may be listening to this may have done some work with me, have been in connection with me for a while, right? And I was really thinking about how the people who have come into co-creation with me, there always has been a sense of, for me energetically, of familiarity. Even if like, and this doesn't mean same background, same look, same anything, right? It just, there was this sense that they were known. My heart knew them. And then it's interesting, the ones that maybe chose or kind of were timid and were like, okay, maybe I'll check her out, but I don't really connect. I don't know, that we didn't have that familiarity. Right? It kind of naturally, I understood that it was naturally meant to kind of fall away. So that resonance, I guess, is more so asking for a sense of familiarity, a sense of, as we explore and realize there is another beautiful thing that's coming about this DNA and ancestors, is like they were sharing from the growth of population on the planet, that, and then the connection to how many original clans of people were traipsing the planet, and, from remains and from cave paintings and things like that, those most original things that were shared. They were sharing about how many of us actually are related, because just think of the billions of people on this planet now, and they were saying it probably came from about an original 16,000 people. It was like something that small. Can you imagine? So this familiarity makes sense with human, because you actually are witnessing and connecting to kin that could have been from past, from those original people on the earth, or kin that could remind you of, and I love how we say remind you of a time in the stars, or it could be that you are remembering a future part of you. So, yes, to let go of the old patterns that we feel stuck in, that do not feel like they are ushering or assisting this new. To lay them to rest, to honor the ending of the old, to honor the ending of that cycle. For there's always something sweet in the closing as well as the beginning. And beginnings, of course, always, as even when I shared new, right? You can see there's excitement with new. But then, of course, new moon is like going into the shadows. It can go into the places there's no light in the sky, right? There's no reflection being shared with you. The reflection comes from deep within. So it could be going deep into those caves of places and things that might feel like they're hibernating. They've been stuck there or stayed there for a long time. So you can slowly start to extricate or excavate them so that you can offer them to the earth and let them leave from you. So the new, though, is not always talked about, of how awkward it may feel, of how we're all kind of on new feeling legs and new ways of being. And so to be gentle and kind to yourself, the compassion that you are sharing with others, share with yourself. Let us go through the growing with ease. Original clan, beautiful. Those who walk the same path. Yes, I see that. Thank you. Right on time. You're so cute. Okay. Is there other questions that have come up? Please bring them. I felt after that timely message, that's my pun, that I was meant to actually then connect and see if there were any specific messages that were meant for those that will be tapping into this call, be it later or now. And all right, tarot is calling, not oracle. And tarot, I love this one. It's called The Psychic Tarot by John Holland. Message for, ooh, did you see that? It flew. Oh, wow. Okay. Please let me know if you can see it right side, like if you can see the word proper. I believe you can, and I cannot. That's how YouTube Live goes. But as you see, number 7, oh my gosh, 7. I'm so excited to speak of this number. This beautiful silhouette of a human, standing on earth, but, sun and sky is like literally on the horizon. Stand your ground. Please let me know if you start to receive messages as well that you feel that you're guided to share to the collective here. This is a circle for a reason. You're welcome to pop them in the chat group. So very much in alignment to what I've been sharing about resonance of connection to kind of, even in the initial moment where we connected to heart, how I was guided to connect to earth and sky was to share what may seem to be below and what may seem to be above, right? Just like how we're kind of checking ourselves on what we say is future and past, because past could technically really be future. I've for sure seen in a lot of past live messages that I've received, they came true now. They were here to help me and prepare me for things now. So what I see a lot in this is the concept that we also have of as above, as below. What does it mean to stand? What does it mean to stand your ground, right? This is not our ground. I'm getting a lot that this is that type of individual. I feel it as your individual alignment. Been working a lot with directions and connecting with northeast, southwest, the gateways, the guardians of them, and the energies that they carry. And always have been guided to then call in north at the end, which felt that, me kind of orientating myself within the energies allowed me to actually discover what is my north. Because sometimes, of course, how we are standing, how we have chosen or learned how to walk or move through space within our body, right? Who else is a bit of a klutz? Sometimes it feels a little awkward, like we're like, oh, a hip is off, or this thing is, is not functioning correctly, or, and then we try to go and get aligned and go get a more appropriate way of moving through space, our body to move through space. And what I found in connecting to kind of this compass idea, and we all have this idea of a true north. They've spoken of this, there was the North Star or a certain star in the sky. I think it was Polaris, that even sailors or those who would navigate direction in the midst of nothing, in the midst of a sea, that all you could see was black and water all around you, right? There was nothing that you could see that could assist you in moving forward. And so they would look and discover this one star that would allow them to travel, and they knew that they would move there and get to something. So beautiful, that trust. No time for GPS and navigation systems. And so in finding alignment, that energetic alignment, your true north, your star, your pole star, your polarity, can allow you to access a trust in how you are directing your walk, how the pace that you're walking, the momentum, the placement of you within. I'm seeing this a lot of placement in space, which is so beautiful. Since I was guided to talk of time to begin with. So this is about space and time. Wow, new space and time. And how it is so universal. Of course, there is a cohesion, there's a harmony of how we as a collective choose to move through space, along Earth, walk along Earth. Move through the time. There's a cohesive harmony, but then there is also an importance of the individuality of kind of how your choice of moving. I get as well that this is not something very emphatic of like, of trying to like stand your ground, get ready for a fight. It more so feels like, there's no fight. It's that trusting that even in the cohesion of how all of us are moving through space, that is creating kind of a dynamic and a flow on this earth through this time as a collective, even if it may feel that it's quite disharmonious, is that the word? Even if it feels like you are being shown lots of conflict and difference, right? Of going, oh, that's not my story, or this is not my thing. I don't really connect to that. I'm not resonant with it. That it is part of kind of this overall traffic and movement that actually is slowly and gently working to allow for greater harmony, but also working together almost, and this is neat, not just, I know there is a pandemic going on. So when I say virus, it might be thought of as that, but it's almost as if this movement, as we then stand more of our ground, walk kind of true north, our path, trusting our direction as we move in this kind of community, in this harmony, then over time, even what may seem as discord is actually multiple aspects of what is required to help kind of churn and shift things that are not meant to be here. Almost expelling a virus. I just keep seeing that there's this movement that is occurring to help kind of spit these certain things out that are no longer required. And so trust that you have an immense contribution to the collective. Even if you feel you're like, what more can I do, right? And you see so many examples of how people do things to assist in creating and assisting change, assisting this new cycle. And many of us, though we have different walks, we have different paths, we have different ground to almost kind of like tenderize. What is that I see, like that thing that kind of like pokes into the grass or pokes into the ground to make it more moist, supple, capable, as well as potential for more seeds, right? So feel that your ground, even if it looks different, even if it feels different or asks for you to walk on a different path than the persons or the community or the people beside you, around you. Watch for guilt. Watch for feeling that your contribution is, again, like less than or not as good as someone else's. Watch for comparison right now. And allow yourself to continue to listen to the messages that may come from conversations, from things you're guided to listen to, but that you are the one that puts all the dots together. You are the one that will know if that is part of your, the ride following that star, that pole star. Polarity is a very interesting dynamic to navigate, right? Because it's sometimes, I was wondering if I was going to bring this up. Thank you. I know it's usually an hour. I may go a little bit ahead beyond the hour because I'm guided to bring this up. I wasn't sure if I would, but okay. It's simple example is if any of you have ever had a dog. Okay, I have a dog. As you heard, he said hello at the beginning of our session together. And I learned a lot of polarity in walking him. And what I mean by that is he was always a puller. He was always a tugger, He is like, he has taught me so much about pure masculinity, a pure masculine drive, that force and energy. And so when I felt kind of less than or uncertain about where I was or things like that, he would become overtly dominant and kind of just pull me to the point that it wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable. right? It felt almost like there was a bit of a tug of war that I would have to then pull back to try to like get my arm back or to get my ground, or else you could literally have pulled me over. And it reminded me of that sensation of that tug of war type of thing, right? And this is how we sometimes think of polarity, is that like, you know, one pull's pulling you there, one other pull's pulling you there, and you're like, oh my gosh, like these two opposite things, they're just in constant battle. And so as I continued, of course, he's been my COVID isolation buddy. So obviously, this was not going to be a regular practice that could occur the amount of times I walked with him, or else I'd have no arms left, right? So I'm like, okay, there's no more needing to be the dominant one. You know, me win, I'm the leader on this walk, or you win, you're the leader. It's like, screw that. I'm going to give that up. I'm going to practice exactly what I'm preaching in this, you know, in this example. I am going to allow us to both be sovereign. I'm going to allow us to both see how we can choose, even though within such polarity at times, how we can dance instead of tug. And it was incredible that as soon as we stopped kind of doing this tug of war, that I discovered that we started to actually walk not linearly, but I would allow him to kind of go to one side, and then I would walk towards this side. And it became almost more of an S path, more of this kind of snake-like movement together, so that both of us felt that we were giving some guidance in this path, right? In this mutual walk, without having to pull each other over. And then instead of any times being a tug of war, when we were not doing our snake-like path and walk, at times which we may have paused and then continue to move, that when I did feel weak, tired, you know, sometimes you got to walk your dog when you're not feeling 100%, rain, shine, whatever. And I was actually kind of needing the assistance. He would then pull. So I realized that this pull then occurred when I was starting to fall, when I was starting to kind of lean back or move in a way that wasn't allowing me to stand my ground. Then he would take the lead and pull. And similarly, then when he at one time would get really comfortable and chill, or completely discombobulated, or sometimes really nervous, he's a bit of a nervous one, you know, then instead of me kind of like doing a tug, I would just bring him back in alignment. And so I hope you received a little from that story. But so in the stand your ground, you know, we sometimes think it's a firm stance, but actually standing ground is in your truth, honoring when those polarities, you know, either support us to bring us back up from falling, or to nudge us and move us forward. And so then to find a bit more of a dance or an easeful flow between not feeling, oh shit, I compared again, or oh crap, I'm exploring toxic masculinity, or oh my goodness, you know, what's happening with this, right? Like being less hard on self as you explore polarities, as you explore the third dimension, as you explore this place that we have co-created, that our spirits and our souls have brought into existence of our phenomenal forms, with all these stories that we have to move through, all these stories of ancestrals and lineages, of healing, of families and challenge. Oh, yes, please watch it again. Any type of guidance that I've ever received, I will always, always, thank you, Raquel, always share, watch it 2 times at least. But 2 times is a good thing because then you can let the first listen kind of settle in. And then when you feel ready, listen to it again and you will receive more. Anything else coming up? Your spirits are chatting. Ah! I love when things just come. Oh gosh. 11. Okay. Oh, I didn't even talk about 7. Thank you for me singing 11. That reminds me I still need to talk of 7. That 11. Balance. Center. This brings up a lot with the birds. Okay. As well. I need to share a bit more on that. Okay. 7's a really special number. 7 is a number of spirit. There's 7 also. 7 also has been a number of the aspects you can look in many different cultures and traditions have had 7 goddesses, the 7 sisters, the 7 fates. You know, there's like a group of divine feminine beings, 7 daughters and sisters that come together. And so when I see 7 and connect to 7 as well, I see a finding of place in community with this new awareness that if something doesn't jive, if something doesn't allow you to thrive, if something doesn't satiate heart, if something makes you feel less than, any of that kind of caca, then to step out of it and still to trust that that original clan will come within this new cycle. But I'm also guided to speak of sister because in me redefining relationships and in my work in redefining even the words that we carry around family, which has been part of my work last, I guess I would say fall for sure, moving into winter and my birthday new moon, which was in November. I started to really then more connect to the energy that is sister and brother and understood more so why in my journey of gender, why I attributed, and some people may see me as brother, some people may see me as sister. For brother, I'll start with that first, since that's kind of pretty clear, is the energy of brother came to me much as a pack, like either dog or wolf energy. And it comes with a lot of protection, a lot of ability to be there like that. But in order to be able to have the energy to step to the outer boundary when needed to assist in boundaries and protection, they need a lot of space. They require a lot more space and time away from potentially you because in order to almost like store up that energy to be that protective. And I have had many people that have carried brother energy within my life that also are from all genders. So I just want to be very clear with that when I'm sharing these terms. And then so sister energy was an interesting one because sister is a word that also has been utilized in many different ways. And so in healing sisterhood or in healing the connection to sister, it's not just a blood DNA lineage thing, right? It has also been noted for people who have felt very, very connected on their cycle, on their transmutation cycle, on their cycle of metamorphosis. The energy of sister came to me actually in twofold, which was neat. I saw it as the hunter and the hunted, and saw that they were both, the hunter being the bird and the hunted being the snake, both of them, of course, being very powerful energy animals. The snake also being the serpent. And of course, the bird, it's many, 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 many different ways of showing. There's so many beautiful birds that we can connect to. And in that energy, to kind of share a bit more, is that birds as well as serpent both do a specific process of how they digest, of how they transmute. That's why I bring up that sisters are transmuters. They assist you in the transmutation process, in shifting form and shifting the alchemical process, right? And shifting something, be it from something that is digested into something else, right? Bringing something that might have been ice into steam. And so in that cyclical thing, of course, they bring and carry a lot of wisdom around, be it life, death, rebirth cycles. Hence why sisters may not sometimes need as much space and time on a regular basis apart, right? We tend to, with those that we call sisters, can be very close. Some of you might even connect with them on like a daily basis, or feel like, you know, that's part of your ritual. That's part of your regular process, is to share things with sister. And with that, though, it's very neat because, of course, you'll find that there's very intense times together. And then there are actually, could be time, there could be decades required apart, or that the time is done, is complete. That what you have been meant to kind of share, poke at, extricate from each other, that cycle is, as my lovely Khaliji friends share, and I love the energy of the word khalas. You know, it's done, finished. And you see that, of course, in the navigation, for sure, of birds. That they may come to you with messages, messages of spirit, messages from the stars. And then when you've received the message, or when you comprehend the message, which may be much, much more time, they'll fly away. And so when I see this balance with these beautiful wings, and also this human form, actually, of seeing this kind of juxtaposition of what we may connect to as angelic or star beings, you know, beings that can fly or through space, as well as how that is beautifully connected to someone who is standing on earth. Is make peace with the way that you navigate these times and this new. Make peace with if you choose to fly in the stars and connect to different realms that may not be as much in human form. Make peace with if you need to dig deep into the earth and access whispers past and access lineages past. If you feel that you're very interested in listening to ancestors right now or connecting to them. And know that Like polarity, there is no better than or less than. There is not one way and the other way is wrong, right? Because polarity shares with us that, oh, that one way must be good and the other way must be evil. No, both ways are meant to be there. And then over time, whatever way, shape, or form that you find most balance, most connection to your true north, to your pole star, to your center, to your presence, whatever way that may be for you, honor it. One, 11. It's a power number. It's a now number. And of course, it's sharing these two charges of 1 and 1, individuals that also are in symbiosis. So honoring if, be it those that may be sisters, community, maybe they are part of the old, just like the ancestors. Ancestors seem obvious to be old, right? But other parts of those that may be around us may be part of that old cycle of what you are right now honoring, releasing, giving to the earth, thanking for that cycle, gratitude for that cycle. And in the new, might feel like the only thing you have access to is your center as you navigate and trust what's to come. More and more so. Discovering the harmony that is now, even in what may feel dissonant. Last thing of harmony and dissonance. In music, they share like with with people speaking. It doesn't matter if how many different languages or different decibels and volumes, right? They could all come in and it could be a cacophony of sound and it could sound chaotic and intense. But over time, in any type of room or space that where everyone is listening and hearing each other, right? Over time, a harmony starts to occur. Even in with someone who might have a really nasal voice and someone who has a really weird, different voice and, all different things that might sound dissonant normally or would kind of like grate, I guess, on someone if they heard them individually to put together. They'd be like, how could this make music? But over time, the most incredible thing happens is that the collective sound actually always will find harmony. So honor people's individual voices, honor that they are sharing, be it guidance or be it, I tell you, from a place of what they are moving through at present. And that present is, of course, relative to your presence. It may feel like you have done it before, or you may not have accessed it. You may never access it. Or you may resonate with it as your now. Let people explore their differences. Allow a little chaos in the new. But work implicitly with your navigation system. And with that, I'll share that next week. Oh, thank you, Ali. With that, I'll share next week that I will be offering a series of meditations on this channel. I haven't decided yet if I want to do them live or not. So I'll let you know what comes. As you see, I'm very much flowing in now and honoring only the parts of the messages that come. So, but I have been guided because some of the meditations that I was sharing last year that aren't on this channel, but more so with people who worked with me, the message came that that the energy or that way of navigating is obsolete, and it's time to bring in a new offering. So it will be about locating and connecting to center, and then we will see what comes. We will see what comes from that, and how that meditation series progresses. So you're welcome to, of course, always hit the like on this to assist in it, I guess, being seen. That's how it happens here on YouTube. um, or also subscribe to the channel so that you can get the prompts for the meditations that will follow this coming week. May you honor, honor, honor the awkwardness, the delightful awkwardness of the new. Trust what you get the nudge is old. And allow yourself to explore your time, what is your now, and get and honor the nudges to review messages past or messages now, and collect what comes to allow you to make greater choices, to allow you to step further into the driver's seat. Such gratitude. I feel you. I'm in honor and awe of you. And I anticipate and look forward to seeing more and more of all that is you being shared, being seated. Thank you for sitting with me. And we'll chat soon and hope to see you next week for some meditation time. Take care.